Friends, I'm going to invite us to stand for the pledge and then a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have the roll call, please.
Terry Reed, here. Chad Melunder. Okay, he's not here. Bill Niemeyer, also absent. Brian Hartley,
Here.
Ethan Maple.
Here. I will mention, just for the record, that both Chad and Bill send their regrets and communicated they were not able to be with us because they were out of town today. As we move to the claims, we'll be looking for approval of APVs number 27881 through 27952.
I will make a motion that we approve claims 278. Is that right?
All those.
Yep, all those 27894 through 27950.
Well, it's all of
Two
the
seven,
ones.
yeah,
It's
all the
top
ones.
line.
Sorry,
I second all.
So,
yeah, 27881 to 27952. I apologize.
that's good. And Terry seconds it. Any discussion, adjustments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Those are approved. And now we're going to move on to the approval of SRF claims. Anybody want to make that
I
motion?
make a motion to approve the SRF claims as presented. APV 27937 through 27940.
I will second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes as well. Moving on to the minutes from our council meeting on June 4th.
I'll make a motion that we accept the council meetings from meeting minutes from June 4th.
I second.
You guys are so good at this. Any changes, adjustments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Approved. We have space on our agenda for public comments, 3 minutes on anything on the agenda as it exists now. And wanted to, if anybody wants to, there's a podium. Wonderful. Thank you.
It's recording.
You're good. Yeah, just do your thing.
Okay, Bill Goss, President of the United States Association of Reptile Keepers. I did just get an email from someone that they have ordinance going to be tabled tonight, but I'll still speak on it. Just a few things to consider moving forward. I know last time you mentioned about possibly 90% of people seem to be from outside the town. When this went through last time. We're meeting and we were contacted by a lot of people who said they were afraid to come. I understand that they probably shouldn't be afraid, but not knowing where this was going to go, sometimes we don't want to comment. So there are actually 37 people contacted us. I'm not sure what kind of evidence they had, but you know the current one is very key. So it's great that you're looking at that because that would be about a third of the people in town. And again, moving forward, I know you're tabling it, but I did look at the red line that you have on there. You're going to ban venomous animals. I don't know if you want to consider allowing keeping. A lot of times that's considered something that's beneficial for the city. And if you ban venomous, bees are venomous. So you may want to allow honeybees, just put an exception to that. Honeybees, just something to consider. I'll email you a couple things that I found, but on section 50.07, you reference the Human Society. I assume you want to reference the Humane Society.
And they're all important.
And then also you introduce the term Animal Management Department, which references the county. And instead of using the term that you introduce, every time you mention it, you put Animal Management Department of Hancock County. You strike the Hancock County and just try to introduce it, say about 100 words because it's referenced over 300 times.
Fair enough.
Just clean that up a little bit. And I don't know if it's going to go forward because again, you're tabling it, but I know that it's on there that anyone breeding reptiles would have to get permission from the city. I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna work, but I'll think about it. Obviously, first time like that. So again, just something else to consider. We're gonna have to work with that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And we are going to table that tonight, mostly because, to be honest, the red letter version that you're looking at was mistakenly put forth. That's an older version of our ordinance that the reason it's tabled is because it's kind of moot anyway, because it didn't take into consideration the current ordinance. As you're well aware, we adjusted this several times in that process, and it got out. It was an older version that got put up in front, and so just because it's the wrong version, we're not going to deal with it tonight. We're going to continue to look at that to make sure that we're working on the current ordinance so that the current ordinance is what gets adjusted, not a previous edition of an ordinance that never came to fruition anyway.
And one more time, if you want any assistance or draft language.
Appreciate it.
Any questions?
Mr. President, if I may comment on something he brought up, the Hancock County animal control is in there because the town doesn't have an animal control department. So we were including them because they're the ones who have jurisdiction.
Right. Yeah, I understand.
That's
It's
what
just you have the term that's only 3 letters, and then every time throughout
Yeah.
the it's over 2 dozen times you use 6 words, but you could just use 10
Yeah.
words and shorten it.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Anyone else? All right, moving on to old business. As I mentioned, we are going to table the animal ordinance and take that up at a future time, which brings us to the North Street drainage issues. And Jim, you're going to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll just kind of tell you where we're at with it. I think in 2021, I actually did a title search because, we've been dealing with this North Street for several years now. And at that point, I did not find an easement back there because I think they went back 50 years. Well, Ryan, I don't know where he dug this out at, but it's the archives. It actually shows a 4-foot utility easement on that property. So Ryan and I and one of the contractors actually walked it last week, and it's kind of a twofold problem. There's a swale that's in Bridge North that has some mini barns and some structures in it, and then on North Street in that 4-foot easement, within that 4-foot easement, not only do they have telephone, I think they have communication, so there's literally no room back there to work. So we've kind of looked at maybe the idea of putting a new tile up front and then draining everything and having everybody pump back into that tile down the street. And we thought maybe a walk or something like that. So, one thing I told Ryan, I would get a hold of all the homeowners on that street. And really, out of the 10 of them on North Street that I spoke with, 2 of them I was able to make no contact with. But everybody, everybody's pump's working. I have 3 of them that pump on the yard. Short of Eric McNeil, Nicholas, you said that they were the ones that were carrying out the furniture. Mm-hmm. The problem they had was their sump pump actually gave out. So when they replaced the pump, now it's working. So several of them are working, but we still have to look at this tile because it's 75 years old, and I know we have tree roots and structures over it. So that said, for the short term of it, I have a contractor coming out. We'll have a couple of them give us some ideas of what it would cost to maybe bore tile down through that street. We looked at the good thing about the structures are deep. So you see this right here is in 2005, and it's kind of hard to see, but the backyards are very clear. But today the backyards are just, polluted with fences. We've got garages. I think we've literally got a garage there on 30 North Street that was completely built over the tile. So just a little bit of the Wild West. So and even for us to get back there, we just can't do it. the yellow dots, the little orangish yellow ones, those are the drainage boxes that we're going to look at. I think Kyle actually has the vac truck coming out tomorrow. About twice a year, he'll clean those out. And our objective is to get to Eric McNeil's. This is his backyard back here. This is our biggest, the complainer here on the street, but he's his own worst enemy because he's got his backyard just completely polluted with. I mean, water cannot drain out of this backyard. He's got trees, barns, structures, debris. It's a mess. So that's literally the very back. It's kind of like a raised garden, and his water's supposed to slope back through that garden into that swale in the back if he uses it like most of the neighbors do. So we'll work with Eric, to try to help him get some of that resolved. And in the meantime, we will also look at, some other options to get this taken care of. It's just going to take some time. Ryan thought maybe a consultant, to look at this because
Yeah, there's going to have to be some engineering put into this. Walking back there with Jim, there's elevation changes between the new neighborhood and the old neighborhood where that swale is. The structures, the fences, the mini barns, all that stuff that was built in the easement is a little concerning to me. If they ever have to get back there to do any work on utilities, it's not feasible. It's not possible right now. The structures and the fences and everything else back there, that's one thing, but the elevation changes with the swale back there and the new neighborhood behind it is a whole nother problem. So it's not an easy fix. It's not an easy solution. It's something that's going to have a lot of thought's going to have to be put into. The structures that we pulled the lids on was very concerning to me because some of the entry points into those structures aren't big enough really for anybody. I did confined space training when I worked for the city, and it's not something I would ever send down a living person in because the entry hole is so small. You couldn't do a safe recovery there. So the structures that are there aren't even safe. So this is something that like we talked about, we gave we spent quite a bit of time out there and gave this a lot of thought. I do think maybe going out front, it's probably the best solution. There are some elevation challenges with that as well. The storm line that runs on the north side of or south side of the street is deep. So we'll have to get elevation shots on that. We'll have to get surveys done. It's going to have to be a lot of work going this. It's not going to be cheap. That being said, I think the goal is to put a new line down through there, give the homeowner the ability to hook into that new line, and then Flo will fill the old line in the back and fill those structures and abandon that line. It's going to be costly. It's going to be a lot of time and effort put into this. I think going with a consultant and trying to find the best feasible option to do this project is probably the best route.
we'll have a little better understanding after they go through it, hopefully tomorrow, if the weather permits them to get an easement machine back there. Because I asked Kyle to bring the camera, and I think he can go 100 feet in each direction from each manhole. So that'd give us a new video to see what this tile looks like, what kind of shape it's in, what's the cause there.
So in the meantime, I think what we decided while we're going through this process and trying to figure out a solution for this is just continue with the maintenance program on the line that they've been doing. It gets jetted twice a year. We recommended sending a camera through it this time. I don't really think there's any reason to do it any more in the future, unless there's a drastic change with something. But we'll continue the maintenance program while we're looking into a solution for this.
Yeah.
But it's a complex problem.
Now, will those cameras, will they tell who might not be legally connected? Or
I think
might
the only
not
way,
be legally,
if there's sewers and stuff on there, I think really the only way to do that would be a dye test
Yeah, the smoke test or
or a smoke test. I mean, the camera is going to show hookups and stuff. It's going to be, you can tell generally where they're at, but without doing a dye test or a smoke test, it's virtually impossible to tell what's actually hooked up to it.
And what about West North Street? I
Haven't
know
been-
there are several,
Yep.
3 houses that are on slabs, but
Yeah, I know that, I think is it, or what's the first one farthest west? Is that James Bartles or?
Bartle.
Yeah, he pumps into the waste side of it, so he's illegal, and he's been like that since the 80s. Then the next house, she pumps in the backyard, because you've seen that, it's a swamp back
Yeah,
there.
it
Yeah,
comes into my field.
yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, haven't made it that far west yet to knock on the doors.
Yeah, I don't know about the first 2, 10 and 12.
But there again, I think probably going down through the front is probably the best way to go.
Yeah, this is probably something that's going to have to be done in stages,
Yeah.
I would assume, because it's going to be so costly.
Yeah.
But we can keep that in mind as we do the first stage, which is this section we're looking at. What would be the best possible solution to continue this work going to the west? So it's a challenge.
We had a good community crossing fund where we're going to redo that street and just put that tile right down at the edge of the road. But
So I'm trying to remember what that road's rated at.
but that said, getting the fires out like McNeil, like I said, because he causes a lot of that with a lot of things that he has in the backyard. We're just gonna have to work with him. So
Jim, I will tell you that I did have a talk with Ethan Lawson Tuesday after the commissioners meeting, and Jefferson Shreve's office is looking for some projects up to $2 million. So it might be beneficial to reach out to Mr. Lawson and see if this is something that might qualify for
Yeah.
one of those projects.
Is that the same pathway that we were talking with? Who were we talking about?
it was, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we could, I would rather, it would be nice to submit several projects.
I mean, that's
And-
fine.
Yeah.
The others did not go anywhere. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
we can keep
Yeah.
knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can submit several projects, hopefully one of them will get picked up.
That'd be good.
So that might be a beneficial route as well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a grant opportunity. So
I can get a hold of Ethan. I think Thomas Barkley has a pretty good relationship with that office as well.
Yeah.
He's the one that helped us with the wastewater. So, yeah. Fair.
might be worth looking into.
Yeah. But, everybody that I did speak to, I notified them that we were looking into this. Even the ones that pump in the backyard, that's not a good situation. So we'll definitely circle back with them.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to new business. Terry, you want to talk a little bit about the Architectural Review Committee? ARC? Not that arc.
Certainly. I did not submit my thought process to Zach in time for this meeting.
Okay.
He gave me 2 examples of arcs from other towns. And so I chose one and we discussed it. We will have that for everybody by the next meeting.
Okay. All right. So we will put that on our old business for next meeting to go over. We were given ordinance revisions. It'd be number 061825. Just cleaning up some of our ordinances. Any conversation around that?
I have a conversation. I just have 2 things in the ordinance that needed to be changed after it was submitted to you, and I'd gone through most of it. On page 2, in the 29.622 asset transfer, it refers to the town controller's office, and it really should read clerk treasurer's office. So I've changed that, and it refers to safety manager, and I changed it to town manager. So in the ordinance that you would sign, those corrections have been made. The other one was on the second to last page where it says 4106.5. It should have read 4106, and Ryan caught that one for me. So That's been changed too, but those are the two changes, or what I saw needed to be corrected.
Okay. Do you all have any other comments or adjustments that needed to be made to those?
Great work on this. I know it's mind numbing.
Chief Ely helped huge, so
Jenny did all the review and took everything out that needs cleaning up.
Good. Well, I would recommend that maybe we make a motion to approve it, and if we want to move forward to just getting it off of our docket, approve it on its first reading, which would require a little bit more work. But let's start with a motion to approve, if that's the direction you all would like to go.
I will make a motion to approve the New Palestine ordinance revisions as presented, number 061825.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Sure. I'll
Okay.
take it.
Thank you, Terry, for seconding it. Any other conversations related to it? Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Do you all want to consider approving it on the first read in this case? How do you feel about that?
It doesn't matter to me. I'm good with it either way. You guys?
Matter with two gone.
No, it doesn't. I mean, we can.
All members present, agree to pass on first reading.
I mean, I'd be happy to make a motion that we approve on first reading with unanimous consent.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Nope. And so we have to approve it now, right? Unanimous consent. We're good. All done?
Yep.
All done. Thank you all for all the work on that. It's always good to make sure we're cleaning up a few things. Ryan, you wanted to talk about some signage for the bridge? That nice, shiny, pretty bridge that we have over there?
No, actually, I wanted to talk about signage for Bentner Road.
Bittner Road. Okay.
As you know, Bridge 120 just got repaired by the county, and that was a costly,
It's
time-exhausting project. Something that I think that it's going to go under engineer review, and it will be determined on if the load rating for the bridge needs to be reduced or it can stay where it is. I think it would be in the town's best interest moving forward that we restrict the weight limit on Bentner Road from US 52 to 400 South. We can take that proactive approach and trying to eliminate as much construction traffic on that section of road. Indiana Code 9-20-1-3 gives us the authority to do that. I think it will prolong the life of the bridge and prolong the life of the asphalt. It will also increase residential safety through there since we have the new walks through there and everything. I know there's some technicalities that we need to make sure we follow when we do this. I reached out to Ted and Zach and had them look up the code just to make sure that what I was going to suggest was okay with doing. And I gave you all a handout on page 2 is Zach's rebuttal to that. There's a few things that we need to do as far as steps and the signage. On the third page is an example of the signs that I propose that we post on Bentner Road from US 52 to 4 South. We can make exceptions for traffic traveling over or on that section of road. And I would suggest there's some examples in there, but trash trucks, fire trucks. What else did we have in there?
school bus.
school bus.
Yep, school bus, emergency vehicles, and town vehicles for maintaining road maintenance. So there's a handful of exemptions we can make. But what this will allow is it'll allow our police department, it'll give them an ordinance to enforce that if we have loaded triaxles, concrete trucks, semis trying to traverse down that section of road, they can enforce that ordinance and write a ticket. And after a few tickets, I think word will get out and we can help reduce the amount of commercial traffic on that section of road. So it's something I wanted to propose to the council to see if you guys agree with that.
What's the balance between obviously the trucks like concrete trucks that are more damaging, and if there's a heavy delivery that needs to be made to the residential areas, and that would Cypress Creek or North Street or something? I mean, North Street can get around. Cypress Creek can't get around, or the preserves can't get around that.
There's different ways into the subdivision, and it would be up to the police officer's discretion. There are other ways into those subdivisions. They can come off of 4 South. They can come down 450 from the north. I know once they hit 4 South, they'll still hit those signs. But if they're making a delivery and we put a 10,000 pound weight limit on there, I don't know too many deliveries that are going to exceed that weight limit.
I don't have any concept of what 10,000 pounds equals. We get a lot of Amazon packages in my house. But you're saying that doesn't equal the 10,000? All right. Fair enough. I trust you.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a normal passenger car is probably 5,500 pounds,
Okay.
give or take. Just as an example, a diesel pickup, you're probably looking at 7,500. If that gives you,
What about like RVs and things like that? I'm just curious because
I
know
don't
that-
know what an RV weighs.
That's fair.
I would say those water pool trucks are fairly heavy, those large ones.
Yeah, I would say,
They'd be out
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
yeah. But there again, there are other ways into the subdivisions. You can come off of 500 West. There's lots of ways around.
Well,
The
and
roads are interconnecting, so, and it would be up to the police department's discretion, at the time. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to stop all of it, but what I'm concerned of, I don't want 600 dump trucks in 2 years, or 300 fully loaded concrete trucks
Yep.
in the next 2 years traveling down that section of road.
I agree with you.
That's the purpose of it. So the police department can use their discretion on the abuse of the use of the road. I would say, and there are going to be trucks and traffic sneak through there that don't get caught.
Right.
So this is just a tool at our disposal.
You thinking plated weight?
Yeah, because you have 10,000 pound plates.
Some guy's gonna be over that, but if it's plated under, I think that's the one, because we can't go out and weigh them.
Right, and there should be tags on the vehicles too. They have gross weight on the tags, and gross weight's considered a fully loaded vehicle at its max capacity with a full tank of gas. So the
you're
weights are
actually
listed on
including a
vehicles
box.
on tags.
I think it's a good idea. I just think I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot if Cypress Creek needs pool water, because there's no other way to Cypress Creek. for
True.
Those type of
Yeah,
places.
they pump down there on 450 and then can come off 300 south. They
Yeah.
fill their trucks right there at that hydrant and then
They'll miss the
Straight up.
bridge, but I know that
yeah.
where he's talking about putting the signage.
right.
Yeah, they'll miss the bridge. I just don't. I don't know if what we need to do. I think we move forward. I'm in favor of moving forward
I'm a little,
with it.
I'm trying to use caution on not just putting the signs at the bridge.
So if I can weigh in a little bit here, 2 things you can do is you can require, let's say it's one of those trucks that carries pool water, you can require them to get permission from the street commissioner or the town. You can include that in the ordinance, and then you can just looking at other similar ordinances that cities and towns around central Indiana have. You can require them to use the shortest route possible through that area. So that would, cut down on some of that traffic, but still allow them to possibly use it. And, the nearest entry point, the nearest exit point, in and out.
Well, since they fill up down here at 300 and 450, that would be the nearest point, so.
Okay. I appreciate the thought behind this. I'd rather be proactive than have to deal with the fixing of the things.
Well, the bad part is the town suffers. But Zach's got an ordinance drafted up somewhat that he can alter to add some language in there, and then we can approve that. And then there's steps that we need to take, which is publishing it in the paper and so on and so forth. Everything on that second sheet. So.
Okay.
There are a lot of residents that are unhappy that they see the trucks going over there because they were inconvenienced to have to go around and wait on the train.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's something that unfortunately we can't enforce till it gets posted. So it is going to take a little bit of time yet, but this is a long-term goal. So I think by doing this is going to, in the long term, help everybody out. It's a way to start the process, but I'm glad we're starting it now. I wish I would have come up with this about 3 months ago, but we'll get past it. But it's here now, so I think it's something that would be good to do, and we can go through the process.
So we're going to move forward with drafting an ordinance that may be ready for us to review next meeting. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Anything for just general conversation for the council that either of you have? Any legal updates?
I think you guys covered pretty much everything we've been working on. One item of note, I circulated to you, Mr. President, and Jenny and Yvonne, a new House bill that it unnecessarily intrudes in local government, but it requires the town to post information regarding all appointed officers. So a good example would be any appointed office on like the Plan Commission or the BZA. You have to include their appointing authority, the dates of their term, and then you have to include it on the town website. So Jenny's doing a great job already getting that in place.
Heck yeah, we already have great
on the website,
documentation
so-
of that. She's on
Yeah,
it.
that
Yeah.
was a
So just
that was
another
a couple
thing
of
to-
years ago of a fiasco. So we were fortunate that we had it ready to go, and it is on all of the agendas now, the website, and it will be on the door.
What House bill is that?
1509.
1509? That's what I thought it was.
Yep.
I've seen some emails come through AIM about that.
Yeah, it's a pain, but
Silly rule.
we got to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Department reports. Jim, anything else?
Nope, thank you for allowing me to miss a meeting. I was at a ball game that night, but it was fun. I had a good time at the IMMA. One thing, Terry, on our trash day pickup, a little clarification. I've kind of got a soft letter that I sent out, and I know you did you want to hold back on that? Because I thought the intention was that we were doing a serve day for the town. So we supply the dumpsters, we help pick up versus, and if they don't comply with that serve day or, use it or for their benefit, then we follow up with the legal side of it. So what's your take on?
Well, that's a good question because do you put the cart before the horse, or I guess I was envisioning that the certified letters that you send out would you have whatever your verbiage is for them to clean up, but in there say we are offering this day for you to take advantage of, but if not, you will be fined or whatever. I don't know.
Like a lot of the, and we appreciate all the time, you guys made a very big list, but a lot of, I think Bri has went through and kind of isolated the ones that probably would pertain that would help out on trash day. those we would like to send out kind of a nice letter and saying, hey, this is offered, please take advantage of it. Then if they don't, we'll definitely keep record of that, go right back after them with other letters of rubbish or whatever it might be. Some of those letters were like just our typical grass letter, or that we typically send out. So just not sure how you want us to. I'm not sure where you were at with the legal department writing a letter.
We're working on a draft letter.
Is it pertaining to trash day though? Because to me, trash day is kind of a service day that the town has offered. So
On July 12th, we're going to offer a free.
We can include that if you'd like, but my impression was that you just wanted a general letter to send out to the properties further. Kind of on the edge of, you just saying, hey, clean this up or else we'll take action.
would that not be our regular ordinance though?
It would, I been on more of that nature, or.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did we send that first batch of letters out?
Oh, well, we've sent several. We continue to
Yeah,
send.
it's
Oh, is it
all
on
the
the-
time.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're on top of that
Okay,
element.
so we can draft one that includes the pickup trash day on July 12th. The information. And,
What would be different from what we already sent out?
We haven't
The
sent
fact that you're drafting it.
we haven't sent the polite letter out yet.
You sent the mean letters out.
No, we haven't done that either. Yeah.
Do
So
they need to be certified?
I personally don't think that and I know it's a legal question, but I think our nice letters don't. I think, but our if it involves an ordinance, we have to certify.
correct. They need to show that they received that.
Yeah.
How effective do you think our nice letters are going to be?
It might not be effective because we know how people, take care of some of their properties around here.
Getting the letter.
But
so-
at least we can say, we sent this letter and then, follow up with the
You're running
the hate
close
mail.
on time.
Yeah.
That event is the 12th of July. It is now, what, 18th of June? We need to get the word out so people can start cleaning up, and preparing for that traffic.
And that letter, although we want to send it to the ones that you specifically identified, we can maybe put it on our page as well so people could read that letter without comments. So, yes.
Always without comment.
I mean, I think that the purpose, I appreciate the purpose of this is one, to nudge people in the right direction so that we're creating not just a problem for them, but a solution for the problem that they may be encountering. But it's also generally for the town a good way to, give back and create space for them to get rid of some things they may not otherwise be able to get rid of and avoid future properties that could get in that place as well. So you're looking for direction on what letters to send and when?
Well, we kind of need to get the letters out pretty quick.
He has one.
Yeah.
It's a nice letter.
The nice letter.
The one that you sent us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple little errors in it. We'll clean that up, but we thought about sending that out just via just mail.
The only reason to send it certified is we want to take future action based on that particular letter. It doesn't mean we can't include an ordinance just as a reminder. Hey, if you didn't know this ordinance was here, this is an ordinance that we wanted to make you aware of. It's not actionable, which is what a certified mail would be relative to. But just sending it via mail, since they've already received a certified letter, right? All these people have already received certified letters.
No.
A lot of times when it gets certified, they don't even answer it. So maybe we can trick them.
$10
A stamp.
every time.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would say let's not do certified, but include the ordinance, understandably that it would not be, one of
Right.
the
I see.
points, but
Yeah.
we'll at least let them know that there's a law behind this and we're creating space for you to do it.
I think were you gonna fold that up in it or?
Well, I had some questions about,
Yeah.
stemming from that list that Trey provided. I had some questions about boats and trailers. The trailers being for camping, cargo, travel, and utility trailers. If we can have them or not. I noticed there were some discrepancies in two of the ordinances. 2.1 for storage says no permanent storage of boats or trailers, so you can't have it at all. But 2.6 for trailers, mobile homes, tents, and boats says you can have it. It can't be in your yard. It has to be in an enclosed structure, under an enclosed structure. And you can have a boat, but it has to be in the backyard. So 2.1 says you can't have it at all, 2.6 says you can. So I had sent some questions back to Jim about, are we going to allow them or not? How do I need to proceed with this?
Sounds like we need to clean up some of those
Yeah,
ordinances.
we
Oh,
do.
no.
Okay, Jenny.
I mean, if we have conflicting ordinances, I would prefer not to make that the main issue. If there are clearly properties that are in violation, being proactive and sending letters to say, hey, we wanted you to know that here's an ordinance that we currently have, but here's an opportunity for you to solve that problem so that you're not in violation. I don't think it needs to be certified. I'm okay with that. I don't know
And
what
I
you all
had-
think.
I had sent Jim some examples, some pictures as well for the trailers and the boats, and I'm not sure if we're gonna share those later or not, but that's where I landed with it. Kicking it back over.
Yeah, putting a shed over some of those mobile homes looks more atrocious than the mobile homes, so,
Could be opening a can of worms.
Yeah.
there.
yeah. So, I think you're right. I think those are, we probably need to really read through those and then sit down as a group and figure out, what's the best intent and interest of the town. So, and I know a lot of people have a boat. We did find a few boats, whether they can even get to their backyard, like North Street could not get to a backyard.
Well, with
Those
all the
thing-
water, it could float back.
Good, good.
That's why they need one.
There's our maintenance issue.
Yeah.
Let's do it from a boat.
So, like I said, it seems like when we open one can of worms, and try to fix it, it's the mole head thing. So I think those are some of the ordinances we need to look at as well.
Well, because time is of the essence, I guess you could go ahead and send your friendly letters. I was just hoping that if we made it a little more stern, that they would be able to take advantage of July 12th instead of, if it's a friendly letter and they don't take advantage, then they still have junk, and then it's going to cost them.
I could do the sandwich. I could do the nice up front, a little harsh in the middle, and finish it up with something sweet. So
There you go.
yeah,
Well, let's just make sure they know about the event July 12th.
it's mentioned.
Yeah.
Jim, if you want to send me a draft of that before, I just reviewed your previous letter, but
The harsh one.
the reminder of the trash pickup that
Okay.
you sent me earlier in the week. I'm fine with that letter. And I think if you really wanted to maybe let's slip in a reference to the ordinance about property conditions, but anytime you start saying if you were to say if you don't use this trash pickup day, we will be assessing penalties. That's when you're going to need to have those letters certified. So
Yeah, I agree. I think identifying the ordinance, just saying, one of the reasons we're doing this is because we want to make sure people have every opportunity to take care of their property up to town standards. And if you're curious, here's what that is.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people don't even know if ordinances exist.
and so yeah, I'd send it semi nice,
Okay.
but not certified. Does that give you enough direction?
Yeah, we'd like to get them out by Friday anyway. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Do we have any other communications like graphics for this yet?
There's a flyer we were handing out on Saturday at the recycle.
I haven't got a flyer yet, so if I could get one, I can put it on Facebook and the town website.
Okay. And we can put it up the town hall.
Yep.
On the doors. It may be worth asking if there are some local businesses if we can put it up, just to get that information out there as best we can. Tim, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Steve?
I don't know.
Chief?
Yep, so we are firing up the reserve program. since we're down a little few manpowers, we actually have a gentleman who's been doing a lot of ride-alongs with us. Very interested in the position of working for the town. He's a New Pal graduate. He's from the area. So we're going to start this weekend with his training, the 40-hour pre-basic. So he will start becoming a trained officer. He has no experience whatsoever, but a very genuine, nice man. He will finish our 40-hour pre-basic, then we will roll him into our 240-hour road school, and then we'll kind of continue from there. But his name's Brian Wagner. I think he's late 20s.
Yeah.
He's young. So we're pretty excited about getting started back up. Town's growing, and got to find a way to try to get some more help here. And we can do it this way. He's willing to volunteer right now, so that's kind of where we're going to go.
Great.
Yeah.
Are you going to join that program?
I'm thinking about it.
Great. Physical agility starts Saturday.
I'm out.
Is there a grandfather end clause in that?
When you say agility,
Not ability, agility.
Well, that's good news. I appreciate the work at making sure everything's covered and safe in town. Do you have anything else for us?
No, sir, no.
Okay.
When it comes to the program, that was part of our insurance policy, which we did away with when Andy stepped back from that, the reserve program. So we'll have to get with the insurance company and have that added back to the policy. So there'll probably be a small increase in insurance.
Okay.
Costs.
Okay.
So
That's
I
fine.
will contact them tomorrow. Is it my turn to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Today was a good financial day. We got property taxes in and income taxes from the state and tip money. So,
It's a good day.
good day. Good day for the bank.
What do y'all want to buy?
I feel that.
no,
So, of course, the TIF money, the majority of it will go to pay off the bond. We'll get to 25,000. So you'll see that on the next, your next APB register. Other than that, I don't have anything. Please.
Okay. Space for some public comments. If anybody has anything they'd like to say to the council, this would be that time. Nope. Okay. Ryan?
I want to thank Chief and the entire New Pal Police Department. I got to do a ride along recently with Officer Whitaker.
Was it on
And-
purpose? You wanted to do a ride around?
Do it.
Yeah, I
His wife calls it, please get him out.
yeah, and it worked. Yeah, he let me sit in the front seat and the whole 9 yards. It was eye opening to say the least. According to Officer Whitaker, we had a good night.
When did you do that?
Monday.
Monday night.
We had a good time. There was some action. Recovered a stolen vehicle, among other things. So it was very eye opening to sit in the front of that Tahoe and actually watch and see what they do and go through. I'm going to do it again. I loved it. I didn't check everything off on my list that I wanted to get done, but I had a really good time. It's amazing that that they put themselves in a line of danger, but they also have to be therapists, tech wizards, because navigating the computer and all the technology they have, along with driving the car and dealing with all the personalities that they have to deal with, and then doing the investigation side of it. It was amazing to watch. I got to see a little bit of everything, and I'm grateful for you for giving me the opportunity to do that. And I'm grateful for what you guys do. Not everybody can do it. So that I had a great time, and I can't wait to do it again. Want to remind everybody that New Pal Police Canine Golf Outing's coming up on July 17th at 8 a.m. at the Links. I'll be there. Can't wait for it. They got a lot of good sponsors. Chamber of Commerce golf outing is coming up Friday, September 12th at 11 at Arrowhead. And then Summerfest is next weekend, Friday and Saturday. And really looking forward to going to that as well. Hopefully we have good weather. I hope it dries up and stays dry for a month. So got a lot of fun and exciting things going on here in the town. A lot of good things happening, and encourage everybody to get out and take advantage of those things.
Absolutely. I will echo excitement for the things that are coming up and appreciation for all the work that's going into them. But I don't have anything else. Terry?
Thank you to Kyle for hanging the flower baskets, getting ready for Summerfest. I think with all the rain that we've had, the flowers will surely grow or drown. I don't know. I spoke with Bestway dumpsters. They came out to the site on Monday, and they rerouted. I tried to do a drawing of the traffic flow
Okay.
and where to put the dumpsters.
Okay.
So that's my first draft of that.
All right. We'll make sure you all get this, because you're going to be the ones making sure people somewhat go in the right direction.
Well, yes, I have a whole list of volunteers,
Good.
who will be in charge of what. The volunteers are numbered.
Number 1 through 15.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like it.
So very detailed. And I think it would be a good idea to also, I'll have the drawing that you can post as well, because on Saturday, people were a little confused around here. You had it set up really great. I thought Saturday went really well with the recycle. But I thought maybe we have more traffic, that we could put that on the website and it'll help people. But they only have one entrance to go.
Good deal.
I guess that's it. Happy birthday to the June birthdays. There's a cake over there. Jim's gonna celebrate. Jim, you may celebrate your birthday tonight, since you have to share it with your grandson.
Yes.
Yeah. You can share the cake with your grandson.
Yeah.
But Chad's birthday was the 3rd, and is it
Thomas.
Smith?
Yeah.
His birthday is on the 27th. So there's those happy June birthdays.
Wonderful.
And thanks again for the flowers. They look nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Catherine did most of it.
Well,
We'd be looking for a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I have one more thing,
That's
Jim.
not that emotion.
I did hear back from Joanne today about the permit for the traffic box at US 52 and 500 West, and she said, like everybody else, they have an overwhelming amount of work and not enough people to handle it. She hadn't received it back from legal yet, but she was going to check on it today and get back with me. So I know we're waiting to pull the trigger on getting that thing printed. Just want to make sure it gets through legal okay before we actually spend the money on getting it printed. I did remind her that our installation date for that was next week. So we'll have to play it by ear. As soon as I hear something, I hope to hear something tomorrow. We can go ahead and get it, at least get it printed and hopefully get it scheduled. We may or may not meet the Summerfest deadline, but
you don't believe in that ask for forgiveness later thing, do you?
they're the banker. So no. No, that's all. I apologize. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.